Send a tweet now that we are live according to StreamYard. I'm going to send the tweet.
Did you say StreamYard?
StreamYard.
StreamYard.
StreamYard. I mean, I can pronunciate it however you'd like. And I also set a premium Slack notification that we're live. So I'd be willing to bet we get some bodies in the chat.
Well, we need them because it's takes on takes, and we need. I mean, we're a quarter of the way done with the season. You know?
Stop. Not yet. We still have tonight before we're a quarter of the way done.
Important note, it's not the quarter pole. The quarter pole means that you're 3/4 done. This is the first quarter done, right?
Correct.
Don't be the guy that says quarter pole because you're wrong.
Right.
All right.
Hello, Daniel. Hello, Morgan. Hello, Jared.
J-Rod. Very good. Let's do it.
All right. Go ahead.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes here on the Draft Dudes podcast presented by Locked On. It's Joe Marino and Kyle Krabs from the Draft Network, and we are your hosts here on this live Takes on Takes episode of the show. We're here on a Monday night, live in your, or not live, we'll be in your podcast feeds on a Tuesday. This episode is brought to you by Pepsi. This football season will be different, and Pepsi is here to get you ready for game day no matter how you watch this season. Pepsi is the refreshment you need to power through game day and become a member of the League of Football Watchers, because Pepsi isn't made for those who play the game. It's made for those who watch it. Pepsi, made for watching football. Imagine not tuning in live so you can see Kyle Krabs sniff his white pumpkin candle while I do the intro.
This is how you know I'm getting old. I'm getting washed. Big candle guy now, out of nowhere.
Candles are good.
It's not even lit yet though.
Wow.
So
is it a white pumpkin? Did I have that right?
This is a pumpkin cookie dough.
Oh, sounds wonderful.
Let me tell you. It's amazing.
What are we doing? We got big NFL news. Bill O'Brien's been fired. We got takes on takes.
It's takes on takes. It's takes on takes.
All right. So Phil,
never know where this show's going to go.
You don't. Remember we got yelled at for talking about lawnmowers once? Let's be careful.
Oh, right? Yeah. We sunk like 20 minutes into that though.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was 20 minutes.
It was probably 4.
All right. So CJ wants to go right into the Texans.
Is this Sports Nut?
I think that's
Sports Nut, right?
Yeah, Sports Nut. Yeah. Let's
we know our audience here. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Take the Houston Texans are the worst team in the NFL in regards to their NFL life cycle. Jets are at rock bottom and have picks, so they will go up.
That's tricky to me because
you're
talking about it. Let's have a dose of reality here.
All right.
And I'm not going to be a Bill O'Brien apologist, but he's been a successful head coach in terms of win-loss, right? This team won a playoff game last year. Criticize the GM all you want, but the point is, like, in terms of this being life cycle, you just paid your quarterback a mega contract. You should have some high-profile players throughout your roster, given what you've done to build this thing up. Have they done it the right way? No. But for a team that is, to me, win now team based on what you're doing with your quarterback, the fact that you won a playoff game last year, the fact that you've what did they win the division like 3 of the last 4 years?
They've had some team success, but with their life cycle right now, I think Sportsnut has a point, because the point of a life cycle is to what? It's supposed to explain the direction of your franchise. Everything the Houston Texans have done indicates that they are a win now franchise. And they're 0-4. And they're terrible. This is a win now team that did not act as a win now team, even though all of their moves were made short-sightedly with Bill O'Brien's job security in mind, and ownership just stood by and let it happen.
Right.
And then dropped the anchor on them after 4 games.
Right. All of that's the problem. But let's not act like they didn't win 4 of the last 5 AFC South championships. They were 10-6, 11-5.
But life cycle is not predicated around what you've done. It's about what you're doing and what your future looks like.
Why shouldn't I know that they made a horrible trade with Hopkins? The whole thing was bad. We hate everything.
Go through all the horrible trades.
How do you not look at this team? Was a team that was supposed to, they're built to win right now, right?
They're not winning.
Right.
And they're terrible.
They should have done what they did. They should have never continued with Bill O'Brien. They should have had a GM in place the entire time.
A year ago.
So a team that's built to win. Okay, so where they are in regards to the life cycle.
Yep.
They're built to win right now, and they have no assets to help them. They don't have a first or a second round pick. Those belong to the Miami Dolphins.
And they're bad.
And you're 0-4.
So, yeah, I think it's accurate.
They're just a disappointment.
Take from Morgan. Joe Burrow has been bad. He's been getting way too much hype. He has been miserable on deep passes and taken way too many sacks.
Man,
this take is so egregious that somebody's calling me right now to take exception to. I'm gonna pick up. Hold on.
It's a spam risk. It's gonna be a
yes. Hello.
Hi, my office has been trying to reach you concerning your vehicle's extended warranty.
Oh, okay.
You should get that on.
That could have gone real south if that was the wrong.
I can't believe you did that, man, brother. Wow, that was an intense moment. No, I don't think this is a fair take at all about Joe Burrow being bad. First of all, playing quarterback in the NFL is really hard, and we're talking about a guy that's played 4 games in the league and has had less than ideal offensive line. AJ Green is the shell of himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone out and been very productive. You've seen the decision making. You've seen moments of accuracy. No, he's not hitting the deep ball right now. But I think what he shouldered at this point in his career is impressive. And I think if you don't come away with that opinion about the way Joe Burrow is playing, then I think your expectations for what an NFL quarterback is supposed to do in their first 4 games under these circumstances is not correct.
The environment's really important with young quarterbacks. And Joe Burrow performing as well as he is, let's be honest, he's been a productive passer. The moment's not too big for him. He's not lost. He's showing a lot of control at the line of scrimmage, which I think they have to be super excited about checks and protections. And not that the guys can block it up, but I think Joe Burrow has even exceeded my expectations, both he and Justin Herbert to this point. And I thought very highly of both of these guys. These guys were both top 10 players for me in this year's draft class. Let's see. I know Vontel had one he was trying to get off. He wants it so bad he dropped it twice in the comments.
All right. Well, we should.
That's when you know a man wants his take. Vontel's take: due to Creed Humphrey's regression the past 2 seasons, Wyatt Davis will be the only interior offensive lineman drafted in the first round.
You want to take the lead on this?
That's news to me.
I was not aware of his regression. Right?
Creed was awesome last year. I know he got the buzz real hot when he first showed up on the scene, right? Because
true freshman.
True freshman. Yeah, he played lights out. So I don't know necessarily if his play, Tyler Biadasz' play regressed, right? I still think Creed Humphrey's playing football at a very high level, but he's kind of just meh, because we've known what he is for 2 years now. I absolutely think Vontel, who I believe is a Cardinals guy. So you got Creed in my mock draft 2.0.
I've given him Humphrey my first 2 mocks.
It makes too much sense.
It's too
with
good,
Kyler there, right?
Especially Derek Brown ate up that center for Arizona yesterday, brother.
Should probably take some offensive linemen.
Well, valuation of interior offensive linemen is tricky, so
it's extremely difficult.
That could play into it. But I mean, Creed's a better prospect than Garrett Bradbury, right? Top 20 pick.
Yes.
So
yeah. Bradbury can only play in wide zone systems. And he can't play guard. I think Creed can do both of the things that we just said.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point about Creed. I feel fine with him at guard as well.
J-Rod.
Whoa.
Yeah, spicy. Go ahead. You're the Carolina guy.
From Jared Feinberg, spicy take. The Panthers are 500, and that's where they'll finish this season. Okay. We got to find 6 more wins, right?
Okay, we're doing it.
Got to.
Right.
This week they have at Atlanta.
At Atlanta?
Yeah.
Falcons off the schneid. Let's go. He's already going to disagree with me for saying that.
So Falcons dub. Okay, they host Chicago.
Could be a dub.
Maybe. Okay, put it in the maybe category. At New Orleans, we'll say no.
No.
They host Atlanta on Thursday night, so we'll call it that.
Yeah, that's a win. Give them a win.
One for sure, one maybe. At Kansas City.
Nope.
Versus Tampa Bay.
Nope.
Detroit in Carolina.
Yeah. Give it to me.
At Minnesota. Put it in the maybes?
It's a maybe. Yeah, it's maybe.
All right. bye week, and then they host Denver. The maybes?
It's in the maybes.
Okay. All right. At Green Bay?
Nope.
At Washington?
Perfectly winnable game, but Ron Rivera revenge game.
Maybes.
It's in the maybes.
Okay. So 4 maybes and 2 yeses. And then
they win and win 6. Yeah,
okay.
No.
So we think they have 2 more wins. That gets them to 4, and they have 4 maybes. Is anybody in the world do their 4s like that? I mean, what is this?
I do my 3s like this.
Yeah, not here's my 4. Holy
no,
crap.
I don't do
That was terrible.
4s.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I don't normally do that. 4.
Can you do this? By the way,
Yeah, I got you there.
Yeah. What about the other one?
A little harder. You just want to get my 9-inch hands on the screen here, 8 1/4 actually. All right, so we see 2 more wins and 4 maybes. So
they would have to execute perfectly. Because I don't think any of the games that like we didn't give them, like I don't think they're likely wins. Like we didn't give them New Orleans games, we didn't give them the Tampa game again, Green Bay. I think those are all extreme. I'd be stunned if they won any of those games I just mentioned.
So their ceiling is 8-8. Their absolute ceiling if they achieve everything they possibly can. I agree with that.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, here you go. M. Webb. 49ers should trade both Jimmy G and Nick Mullins to either trade up for a quarterback or sign a free agent and get more pieces. Elite roster is being held back by mediocre quarterback play.
They went to the Super Bowl last year with Jimmy G, right?
Yeah, but they would have won if they had a good quarterback.
Man,
Jimmy did not play good.
Mahomes did some magical things.
I understand that, but San Francisco left points on the field in the second half because Jimmy G did not play good in the second half of the Super Bowl.
Okay, so this isn't a will. This is a should. Do we agree with this? Do we think that the 49ers should trade those players and make a run at a quarterback?
Yeah,
I don't think they should.
I don't think you have to be confident that you're going to be able to get an upgrade. Don't make a change just for the sake of making a change. Jimmy G is a perfectly fine top 20 starting quarterback in the NFL. Is he top 10? No. Is he top 12? No, I doubt it.
Would you go after Cam? Is Cam a difference maker for the 49ers offense? I think we both agree Dak Prescott would be, but I don't know if he gets available. I'm not giving this team a rookie quarterback because they're not getting high enough to get Fields. I mean, you're going to go Kyle Trask.
What are you going to
Kyle Trask going to be the trigger man for this offense?
No. This is kind of that risk of quarterback purgatory. You're going to have to give up a lot if you're going to get out of this commitment that you've made to Jimmy G for this point in time.
Maybe the answer here is that I think they should, if there's a legitimate upgrade, they should be open to it. But
yes,
not married
they should be up to it.
Yeah.
Jared, even I don't feel comfortable with my own take regarding Carolina.
You're supposed to give us takes.
Why'd you put it out here
so we can adequately criticize you?
Oh, Rahul, back at it.
Fresh up 1 week old from his last birthday.
The Indianapolis Colts will finish the season with a number 1 ranked defense. Rahul, in the comments, please clarify to us number 1 what? Yardage, scoring? What do you think is the most likely category that the Colts can finish first in the NFL?
Well, it helps that they're playing in that division now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no disrespect to the Titans. I mean, them and the Steelers and Colts are the only 2 teams that are playing good defense right now. So,
who have the Colts played? Jacksonville,
Chicago,
and who else they got? They got the Jets.
Oh no!
And there's one more.
We could be overreacting here.
We might be. I think Rahul's overreacting a little bit.
Oh no!
Give me Pittsburgh. Actually, no. I'm gonna pull a Joe Marino. Give me the field. Give me the field. I just want the field.
Jaguars, Vikings, Jets, and Bears. Then they play Browns, Bears, Lions. Ravens, Titans, Packers, Titans, Texans, Raiders, Texans.
It's going to get real for them in the second half of the season, isn't it?
They'll have a top 5 defense. I'll take the field.
Rahul says scoring defense.
Held the Jets to 7, the Bears to 11, the Vikes to 11, the Jags to 27.
Cam says Bill O'Brien's firing was done on Jaguars week to build momentum for the new coach. Are we sure Houston wins against Jacksonville?
I think it's probable that they win
It's
that game.
probable. But is it open and shut case?
I think sometimes teams get some momentum coming off of these types of changes, right? And it sounds like he lost the team.
Yeah, he was like getting in screaming fights with other coaches at practice.
Right. So, like, I think they could rally behind Romeo Crennel, who is probably the right type of guy for this type of interim gig, right?
Yeah, he's going to listen to his players.
Steady guy, yeah.
Deshaun's going to have a ton of input on the offensive game plan.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably bounce back, but their bounce back also includes, like, they play Jacksonville and then they play Tennessee and Green Bay, I believe, for their next 2 games. So how much – I mean, we literally said this on Monday's show. We said, what's the ceiling for Houston going into their bye week? Because they play those 3 games between now and the bye. You might get 2. You might energize your team and get 2 and get a win from Tennessee.
Well, the unique thing about Houston is there's no incentive to not try to win football games. You don't have that number 1 pick.
Right. It's not even like, well, we'll tear it down.
I'm not trying to get Micah Parsons and Jalen Waddle on the Dolphins. So fins up, baby. Go Texans.
Joe Brady will be a head coach within 2 seasons.
I think Joe Brady in so many ways embodies exactly what the NFL's trending towards in terms of their head coaches, right? Young, innovative, offensive minds. And it's such an advantage to have an offensive-minded head coach when you have a young quarterback, right? I'm sitting here sweating, right? Thinking about Brian Dable being gone and what's that going to mean for Josh Allen.
Yep.
And, meanwhile, if you have the offensive-minded coach, you always have that marriage of a quarterback with that play caller / offensive guy that's going to continue in their development. So I think in a lot of ways, Joe Brady's going to have a lot of appeal from that. Now, I don't know Joe Brady personally. I've paid very close attention to him over the last 2 years almost now. I think that he's got a little bit of, I don't want to say grown up. I think there's some things that he needs to mature in.
He's super young.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know that I imagine him going and being in front of an NFL locker room and being the guy, right? Like, I'm the leader of these men, right? I'm going to hold these men accountable. I think he can get there, right? But he strikes me as kind of a very young guy. He doesn't give me. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's the difference between being a really good coordinator and play caller and game planner versus being a really good head coach.
Yeah.
Like, those are different skill sets. And yes, it's really attractive to have a guy, but like Bill O'Brien schematically does some nice things too. Just as an example, as like from an offensive game plan perspective, and maybe not so much this year, but in years past, like, you watch how they've built around Deshaun Watson and, how they put DeAndre Hopkins in positions to have success. Like, Bill O'Brien did some really redeeming qualities as far as like offensive football. But from a CEO perspective, he was obviously very abrasive with both his assistants and his players. And that's why he kept booting guys to the curb. We heard about how he butted heads with DeAndre Hopkins before trading Hopkins, never mind the fact that DeAndre wanted to get paid. And then you also have his shortcomings as a GM, but like, those are all very different skills. And Joe Brady right now, I think schematically, as you said, it's moving exactly in the direction the NFL wants to go for offensive football. And we talked about that on Monday's show as well, as teams chasing the wrong kind. Everybody's chasing that high-flying, sexy 40 points a game.
Yeah.
Score 29 and play some good defense and like have an inspired football team, or score 25 and be able to dictate the line of scrimmage on both sides of football.
Joe Brady's in the perfect place. I really do think that with Coach Rule and getting a chance to develop those leadership traits. So 2 seasons seems not long enough, but I think he's on that path, and I'm excited to see him develop his scheme in the NFL and develop his leadership under Coach Rule.
Spicy from Zach. Sage Surratt is Dez Bryant 2.0.
So late stage Dez Bryant or early stage Dez Bryant?
Presumably early stage Dez Bryant.
Man, I like Sage. I think they win in similar ways. I think Dez early in his career when he was at his peak was a better athlete than Sage. I think Sage is a good athlete. I think he's a natural athlete. I think he's smooth. I think he's strong. I don't know that he has that type of explosiveness. I don't think that he's a guy that's going to really get behind guys. I mean, he has good technique and he's a natural competitor, which will be helpful, but is he a guy that is going to stack and then break away from corners and really get behind? I don't know. Like, I think he's a possession receiver, and that's fine. He wins, and I think he can be successful, but he's more Michael Pittman, T. Higgins than he is, early stage Dez.
All right, so here you go. I'm gonna put this on the screen for everybody watching at home.
Second time we get to see your phone today.
Okay, see what that says?
Yes.
Dez Bryant.
Yep.
That says Dez Bryant. What page could this possibly be for?
Oh, this is going to be your prospectus? What is this about? DK, yeah.
DeKalen Metcalf. You want a Dez Bryant comp? There you freaking go. By the way, DK tied for the NFL lead in receiving yards. And I think they said he was like 39th in receptions.
Yeah, he has four catches every game this year. He has 12 catches, 4 in every game.
Unbelievable.
Yep. But those 4, they matter, man, don't they? Jesus, man.
He's over like, what, 40, 25 yards a catch this year? Is his average?
It's got to be, yeah.
My producer has to know.
What does he have, 403 yards on the year?
I have no idea.
I think Diggs is tied with somebody.
403.
Is he tied with Diggs? He's
averaging 25.2 yards per catch this season.
Yeah, it's really weird. You look at the receiving leaders, and like Diggs and Metcalf are the same, 403 yards, but one has been targeted 35 times, one 28. One has 16 catches, one has 26. Then Amari Cooper, here he is, 51 targets. Amari Cooper, 51 targets in 4 games, just 37 catches for 401 yards.
That's unbelievable.
Dallas Cowboys are in the Big 12, folks. Dallas Cowboys are a Big 12 team. Yes, they are.
Here's a take from you from not the fans, from me.
Okay, this is a terrible take, I'm sure.
Dak Prescott breaks the NFL single-season yardage record this season.
What is it? Peyton has, or does it Tom Brady? One of the two.
I'm pretty sure it's like 5,500. I'm going to pull it up exactly right.
And he's on pace for almost 7,000, right?
Yes.
So they're not going to play defense. That's not going to get better. They're not going to play. Okay.
No, they're
going to be bad on
5,477 yards.
He's on pace to get like 2,000 more than that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good take.
No, it's like 1,200 yards.
Me and math, not good. But yeah, I think so. The volume of attempts, he's got 3 ridiculous receivers in a bad defense.
Contract year.
Yeah,
in a contract year, this man's going to pass for 6,000 yards.
He's going slinging around.
Sling the pill around the backyard. You see in here you like?
I was just thinking to myself, I have so much respect for what you do trying to stay engaged with this conversation and read the comments because I 1,000,000%
I'm completely unplugged.
Right. I'm just here. Trust me.
From Braden of one very happy Chiefs fan. Kyle Krabs' mock draft was perfect.
Perfect.
Okay. Guys, we could just sim to end. We got the final answer.
This has never been said about a mock draft in the history of life.
My guy must really like Sam Cosmi because that's who the Chiefs got in round
That's a good pick. Okay, you give the Jets Brevin Jordan at 31.
Yeah. And they got
team with all the issues that they have. They thought a tight end was something that they needed to get.
Here's the good thing about, and somebody asked me this on Twitter. The Jets have no good wide receivers outside, no good corners, one good offensive lineman, and you gave him a tight end at 31. Why? I said the good thing about being terrible at every single position on your roster is you're not inhibited from drafting anything. Just pick good football players.
Yeah, but you got to get meaningful ones, right? Guys that can make a difference.
Yes, Joe, you got Trevor Lawrence. You got Trevor Lawrence at number 1 in this mock draft, and they still got pick number 33. And breaking news, I'm going to tip a pick for Wednesday when round 2 comes out. Jets pick at 33. Who do you think they picked?
Sage Surratt.
No, it's not Sage Surratt. Quincy Roche.
Who's their defensive coordinator?
No idea.
Who's Brian Dable bringing with him? Is he taking Jim? You taking one of the Bills' assistant defensive coaches? Just break it all down for us.
Who's their DC?
The Bills, Leslie Frazier.
Yeah.
He's not going, but maybe Eric Washington,
Maybe.
Jim O'Neill.
Okay, here we go. Another thumbs up for the Wyatt Davis pick to Minnesota.
See, now this is what Kyle has done. He's like, oh, yeah, I can do the comments. Let me just put all the ones that say nice things about my picks. I respect it.
Anything that gets Micah
Right.
Parsons and Jalen Waddle is perfect.
Right. I stand against that. I don't know if there's anything I can do.
No, you stand against it because it would be perfect for that
Correct.
team.
Yeah. Kyle knows. I don't want. There's 5 players I don't want in the AFC East. Their names are Trevor Lawrence, Micah Parsons, Travis Etienne, Jalen Waddle, and Kyle Pitts. How do I get those guys out of the AFC East?
That would be the Bills winning the draft. Is none of those guys.
Right.
Now,
right. I don't care if
what happens
they
if one
draft.
of them, what if the Bills drafted Kyle Pitts? Go completely off the radar.
Oh, sure, fine, yeah, that's
so
fine.
you're good. They're good if they go to Buffalo.
Yeah, any of those players can go to Buffalo. Sure.
Drew, I like this take a lot because if I were Howie Roseman, I would do this 1,000,000%.
Okay,
Take.
I'll read it to you. So you like this?
Yes,
take
I
from
do.
Drew. The
Yep.
Eagles will trade Zach Ertz and target a top 3 tight end in the second round.
The bad news is top 3 tight ends aren't going to be on the board for you in the second round.
Right.
But I would 1,000,000% trade Zach Ertz because he wants a new contract. Eagles just played George Kittle in the San Francisco 49ers, right?
Yeah.
You watched that game?
I did.
Is Zach Ertz in the same stratosphere as George Kittle as a tight end?
Really different players. No. They're not.
No. The answer is no. Zach Ertz is a terrific route runner. He's super smart, but he doesn't win after the catch. He's not overly dynamic, and he's slowing down. And now he wants $10+ million a year for a team that's in big cap trouble. You can't give this guy a contract extension. I think right now he's not as good of a tight end as Dallas Goedert is. I don't even think he's the best tight end on his own team.
Yeah, I just worry about Dallas Goedert. It seems like he's always got something nagging, man. You know?
I get it, but see, here you go. Leo football talking my language. Take Dallas Goedert is already a top 10 tight end as a starter. Physical ability, yes.
Yeah,
Joe has a very reasonable point
banged up.
in that he's banged up.
You trust these Eagles medical people, man? I don't.
Zach's trying to get me to post my his criticism of the Giants pick, and Zach, you're right. I'm not going to put it on the screen. So thanks for commenting. Okay,
What's wrong with that pick? What's wrong with that pick?
There's nothing wrong with Greg Rousseau to the New York Giants
It's fine
at all.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Who did we want? I know somebody wanted Penei Sewell.
You just invested so much in the offense.
Fam, you just spent 2 top 100 picks on offensive tackles, including number 4 overall to play left tackle. So now you're proposing you spent number 4 overall on a right tackle. Tried to warn you about Andrew Thomas.
Listen, no, you're not going to sink them. You're not sinking them. You're not doing this. You're better football mind than to be sinking guys in 4 games.
Yeah, you're correct. Andrew Thomas, that was always a concern, though, was that there'd be a little bit of a lag in transition to the next level. And relative to the other 3 offensive tackles, aside of Mekhi Becton playing last Thursday night because the Jets were dumb enough to put him into the game, like all 3 of those other guys have been playing at a higher level than Andrew Thomas, which is why Andrew Thomas was OT4 for me. Hiru, take Mark Andrews as a top 3 tight end and doesn't get the respect and recognition he deserves. # consistency. Can't have games like he did against Kansas City.
Yeah, that was a problem, but I think most people think he's one of the best tight ends in the game, right?
I would agree with saying he's a top 3 tight end at this point.
Kittle, Kelsey, Andrews, that's the top 3 for you?
Probably.
What about Darren Waller?
I don't know. I think Mark Andrews, we've talked about the tight end position specifically. And yes, our Fritz, I see you down here. Lane Johnson went number 4 overall. It's a good pick. But the Giants didn't draft Andrew Thomas to play right tackle. They drafted him to play left tackle. And now you're going to give up on him after a year because if you drafted him to play right tackle, you wouldn't have drafted a right tackle in the 3rd round. Anyway.
You just broke the record for the amount of time saying right tackle in a minute.
Right tackle.
Good job.
we've talked about the tight end position and its appeal, right? And I do think players at the tight end position who are the most dynamic and like cream of the crop are players that can make a difference in both phases, both the run game and the pass game. And I think about Kittle. I think about Kelsey to a lesser degree. He's probably the least effective blocker of all three of the top three guys that we mentioned. And Mark Andrews. I think all those guys are better in the run game than Darren Waller, who is a wide receiver convert.
Yeah.
And doesn't really give you a lot of dynamics in the run game. So that's why I would have those three above him.
Fair
Darren Waller's excellent, though. I clowned Darren Waller real hard because who was it last summer?
David Carr.
David Carr was like, oh, yeah, Darren Waller's a top 10 tight end. And at the time, he'd had like what?
Nothing. He's done nothing.
9 career catches at this
Right.
point.
Right. It was unfair.
And I was like, yo, you could say like Darren Waller's could be the breakout tight end of 2019.
Sure.
But to drop like top 10 tight end before he'd accomplished what he accomplished last year, I was like, come on. So like Darren Waller made me eat my words last year. And I'm more than happy to take the L. You know, there's no ego here. It's just like the Josh Allen thing that we talked about on Monday's show, right? Like, I'll take an L. I clowned Darren Waller too hard. Now, fortunately, Taysom Hill has made me eat my words on him yet because I was even worse on Taysom Hill than I was on Darren Waller.
Kyle, do you see a scenario where the winners tonight aren't the Chiefs and Packers?
No.
Me neither.
I'm sure this will totally come back to bite us,
Right.
but no, I don't.
It's always good to get that on the record before,
Yep.
you know.
Of
and
course.
this is-
So everybody
people
tunes
listen to
in
this
tomorrow and they're
Yeah.
like, oh man, what a bunch of idiots.
Right. Yeah.
Does that do it for us here on the show?
Yeah, we're like 3 minutes from kickoff. So
Yeah, we got a boogie. So do you guys. We appreciate you coming and hanging out and pre-gaming with us for this Monday night doubleheader. Unplanned doubleheader, but doubleheader nonetheless. We're thankful we get to see 2 games. We're thankful for all of you guys for stopping by. Kyle Krabs, Joe Marino, thanks as always for listening to the Draft Dudes podcast, tuning in live. If you missed it, we're back on Thursday.